astronauts, this is Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research. We have a wonderful reading today as always, and this week's reading is how do people feel after interacting with you? We have 5 piles to choose from, but before we get started, I do want to remind you to like, to comment, and to subscribe. That is right. I would love if you could be part of the astronauts. Now let us get into these piles. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So let's not waste any more time and just sit back, relax, and choose. Hey, pile number 1, let's get into how people feel after interacting with you. We have the Ace of Wands, the Chariot, the Page of Cups, and the High Priestess, and Grand Trine. You know what? This is super interesting. First of all, with Grand Trine, right away we know how people feel after interacting with you. It's pretty good. I mean, that's straight up, that's how people feel. The Grand Trine represents harmonious aspects between 3 planets. Like if you have, let's say you have Venus and Leo, and I guess this wouldn't be okay. Let's say you have Venus and Leo, Mars in Aries, and you have Pluto in, I can't think of the other 5, in Sagittarius or something like that. And they're all at, 15 degrees. That would be a Grand Trine. It's like an aspect between 3 different planets in one element. I think I explained that right. So it can happen in the sign of Cancer. It can happen in, like, if there's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, if there is Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. These are all things that could possibly have a Grand Trine. And obviously the closer they are in degrees, the more precise the trine is. And it represents harmony, balance, and coming together and working together in a way that things run smoothly. So generally, when we see this come up to how people feel after interacting with you, they feel like that interaction was very balanced. It was effortless. It was pleasant. They feel things were a little bit more natural. There might be awkward moments, but for the most part, it didn't come off like the whole conversation was awkward. Things seem to just flow together in a nice manner. It feels like the conversation was very complimentary for the most part, and there's a mutual understanding. That is what I'm getting for you, pal, number 1. So generally people feel pretty decent after interacting with you. Like I said, even if there are awkward moments, nobody's saying the entirety of all your interactions coming together are awkward. For the most part, they feel energized after talking to you. They feel like you're somebody who can be inspiring, who feels like they want to do things. They feel like they want to get out there. They feel like they want to be active. It's almost like you inspire them to go out there and live life more. Like you're inspiring people to reach out, to try new things, to be a part of something different, to follow their passions. It's representing feeling motivated and enthusiastic, especially next to the Chariot here, because the Chariot is all about going out there and achieving your goals. Like this, to them, I feel like you're coming across in a way where you're almost like a motivational speaker in a way, like maybe not even consciously of it, but you're motivating people to feel like they want to take charge of their own life. Like they want to go after the things that they want to pursue their, wildest desires. Like they're like, I'm willing to knock down everything to get what I want. And then sometimes, you know, if this is a romantic thing, which for some people this can be given the cards that we have here, this can represent someone feeling like attracted to you or something along the lines of that. So if you're just generally an attractive person, that could represent that, depending on who you're having these conversations with. But with the Ace of Wands and the Chariot, that combination can for sure represent sort of like attraction in a way. So that's something in terms of like a feeling. But really the general feel is just feeling like a lot of motivated and wanting to go in the right direction and taking control of your life and feeling like having like tunnel vision. You may even find people just kind of like, you know, staring a lot at your face or looking at your eyes or something like that while you're talking to them, because these two cards represent such an intense focus. So just keep that in mind. Just while they're talking to you, I'm sure you may have noticed you're like, why are they looking so hard, right? That's the combination. That's the vibe you inspire, okay? But for the most part, people just feel like, you know, good about themselves after speaking with you. Like, they just feel like, you know, the big man, big woman on campus after talking to you. Like, they feel like they've been hyped. They feel like they've been motivated. They feel more confident. They feel like they can go about their day and get what they want and achieve the things that they want to do in this life. And they're like, I got to do it now. I got to go after the things I want now. I've got to get this thing now. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, this is how people feel after speaking with you. I don't know what you're saying to people. Maybe you are a motivational speaker. Maybe you're just talking about, you know, the things that you want to do. And then that makes them think about the things that they want to do in life. And then, you know, becomes like that. Another thing that we have here with this Page of Cups is, I love the Page of Cups, especially when it comes to interaction, because Page of Cups is like this, you know, sweet card reaching out, wanting to say nice things to people. You know, maybe they don't always say the nicest things, but that's their intention, right? They want to say nice things to people. They want to form social bonds. They want to be kind and sweet and all of this. And so when it comes to how people feel after speaking with you, it's almost like they feel a sense of, well, like I said before, it could be like a little crush, but then also it's like a giddy feeling. It's like a little bit of a like a I'm so excited type of feeling. It's just like, you know, a warm feeling. That's the word I'm looking for, like warm, and feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm just so happy right now. I'm in a good state of mind. You know, I'm in a positive mood today. I want to reach out and talk to people. I want to connect more. Like, they feel a little bit more open. Okay, it feels someone like, it's more so like, I just am so happy. like you got like a new gift or a new package or something along the lines of that. That's the Page of Cups. But I will say with the Page of Cups, the focus does become a little bit more so on you yourself. It's kind of more so like a thought card, more so than a feeling and a descriptor. I'll say that, but it can be a feeling, like I mentioned before, with like feeling a little bit warm, feeling a little bit giddy, feeling like, oh, you got like a new present, new gift. But generally, it's kind of like people are seeing you in a way where they're like, oh, this person is so cute. This person is so sweet. This person is so silly. They like something along the lines that comes across as like very cutesy, you know what I mean? Like, that's generally like they're kind of like thinking that. It's kind of like when you see like a really small cute animal and you're like, oh, so cute. Like, there's not a feeling for that, is there? Right? Like, I can't describe a feeling for that. I wouldn't put a pin in, this is the feeling of holding a puppy. Like, it's just like, oh, like that feeling. So that's kind of like how people feel after talking to you, in a way, you must be a very like sweet, attractive person or something along the lines of that with these cards coming up like this. But generally, they're like, that person is so adorable. That person is so cute. Like something along the lines of that. So it's like this, what do you call that feeling? I guess we don't have a name for it in English, do we? No, it's, but there is a sense of, not adrenaline. Adrenaline is not the word. Serotonin. Like serotonin vibes. Like when they talk to you. Like their serotonin levels rise a little bit. That's what's going on here. They're like, this person is so cute. This person is so sweet. I would like to talk to them more. And I say I would like to talk to them more because we have the Chariot and the Page of Cups. And the Chariot is like, I want to do something. I want to travel. I want to go and do this thing. And the thing that they want to do and the thing that they want to conquer and tackle is like communication. So generally they will probably want to speak to you more. They'll probably want to reach out to you more, have more conversations. But that is just, what I'm getting out of this. I mean, I don't see how they wouldn't want to have more conversations after the feelings that they sort of have, Generally, that's just what I'm getting here. And then we have the High Priestess. And it's interesting because the High Priestess is a thoughtful card. It's a card where somebody is very reflective and likes to study and sit back and try to analyze their feelings and emotions. And in a way, if you had to put a feeling on it, it's more so like I really want to think about this connection that we have. I want to look at you closer. I want to look at your behavior from afar without me personally interacting. Don't get me wrong, they want to have more conversations, but they also kind of want to study your behavior from afar a bit. It's like, I want to watch you. That sounds like a stalker. I don't mean it in that way. But, well, maybe for some people, because stalkers do exist, But generally, it's kind of like the High Priestess is a very, like, let me step back and observe this person. Let me make sure that this person is, the type of character I think they are. The type of energy I think is happening here. I really need to reaffirm, to check, to study, to step back and think. But there's definitely a sense of being like intrigued and infatuated because the High Priestess, she sits in her room, her tower, her place of sanctuary, and she studies and she learns and she takes in messages. And so there's a sense of analyzing your behavior, analyzing your actions, analyzing their own feelings about the conversations you have, the interactions that you have. So it's like less of a feeling and more so, this is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to really think about how I feel towards someone. I'm going to really try to get to know more about them. That's the main feeling I get from the High Priestess. Let me sit and think and figure things out. Because the High Priestess is all about unearthing mysteries. And so you may come across as being a little bit mysterious to them. And therefore they're intrigued. And now they're trying to gain more information and pull themselves in. And pull you in. And trying to, I guess, we're all human. So we try to like categorize people in our mind. Obviously, people aren't simple. People aren't black and white. There isn't some sort of rule book to this is this type of person, this type of person. But because we are people and we have simple minds, we have to categorize people to make things simple, right? For ourselves so that we can live our lives. We can't go into complex detail about every human. But there's something about you that people generally find very intriguing and want to dig more. And there may just be a little bit element of mystery. But honestly, they feel good after interacting with you. And I feel like they want to get to know more about you. Okay? What's the thing that they call when, like the halo effect? So I feel like you're giving people like a halo effect, and they're like getting wrapped up in it, and then they're like, wait a minute, like, was that what I thought the conversation was, or did I just think this person was attractive? Like, you know, something along the lines of that is what I'm getting from you, pal number one. But that is what I get. It's really great interactions that we have here. Even if there's like a difference of opinion, it's like things kind of go smoothly, and you find a way to sort of come together and reach an understanding, especially with the Chariot here and the Page of Cups. It's like, okay, I understand your perspective. Like, I've got some sort of empathy for it. I can sort of see things your way. I can sit back and reflect and think about that. And it's good. People feel good after interacting with you. So that is what I have for you, and hopefully you liked the reading and resonated with it. If not, feel free to choose another pal, you know, or maybe I'm not the reader for you, so you could choose another reader too. Either way, I do hope to see you again, and thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Gotta remind you. And I will see you next time. Au revoir. Hey, pal number two. Let's see how people feel after interacting with you. We have the Ace of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Lovers, the Four of Cups, and Capricorn. I use. So, how people feel after interacting with you. This is pretty great. I think I said pile number two. Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure, because sometimes my mouth and my brain don't align when they speak. But anyway, how they feel after speaking with you, interacting with you is pretty great. Like, people feel like you're someone that they can, I guess they feel like an overwhelming sense of emotions. But generally, I think the Ace of Cups is positive, and the feeling of the sense where someone can feel like they're really connected to you. I generally get it as a feeling of warmth, a feeling of happiness, a feeling of contentment. Generally, it's representing feeling positive feelings. Someone who feels like, okay, this is a nice person to talk to. This is somebody I can express myself around. Someone I feel a little bit more excited to be talking to. Someone who I can really connect with. Like, there's a sense of like people really connect to you and feel a lot of empathy towards you, or compassion, or whatever the case may be. But they're making an emotional connection with you, a strong one. Because when I get the Ace of Cups, it's usually like feeling a overwhelming, maybe not overwhelming, but a large abundance of emotions when having interactions with you. And this Five of Cups coming next makes me feel like they are sort of internally battling their own feelings. And I'm trying to guess what that could be. I'm trying to think the interpretation, the right interpretation is what I'm trying to say. I think what it is maybe they're trying to decide what kind, like if this is a new bond, like you meet someone new, they're trying to decide what kind of connection they want to have with you, whether they want to further deepen those interactions and have more conversations, more meetings, or if they want to keep things light, they want to keep things friendly. They feel like you're somebody who's very agreeable. Generally, when we have the Five of Wands reversed in this way, it's like there's no fight here. There's nothing to fight about. There's nothing to disagree on. We're just having a smooth, easygoing interaction. I got the Lovers card recently when it came to going to an event that a friend invited me to, and I just had asked, like, what would the vibes be like? What will it, what kind of situation will it be? And the Lovers represented, for me at least, and what I've commonly seen it represented as when I do readings, is just having good, nice, peaceful interactions with people where you get to have conversations. They get to talk about their lives and things are going on with them. You talk about the things going on with you. There's no fussiness. There's no tension. There's no stress. It's just like, let's just talk. Let's just hang out. Very positive interactions when I get the Lovers card. So people are feeling good after speaking with you. They feel like they've had a nice conversation. They feel like you're someone they connect to, someone they find relatable, someone who seems like they understand what they're going through, they understand their struggles, they understand what like they just feel like you understand them. They feel like you get what they're going through, you get what they've dealt with, or you're at least willing to have that open and listening ear. The Five of Wands reverse can represent just having no judgment. Upright, it can represent having a lot of judgment, a lot of like animosity towards someone. When it's reversed like this, it's saying we're letting go of that. I'm not passing any judgment here. So they feel like you're somebody who comes across non-judgmental, which allows them to relax, allows them to speak their mind, speak their piece, having a strong bond. And then you may even feel like people feel like a little bit of like a flirtation sometimes with you. Like they're like, oh, this feels a little flirtatious. This feels a little, this feels a little bit romantic in a sense, like for some people. And obviously not everyone you're going to talk to feels that way. But I feel like you're getting those feelings a lot from people because there is that strong sense of connection and bond that they feel. So generally they feel like they've made a genuine connection after interacting with you. And I think with this Four of Cups here, it's kind of letting me know that they're like, man, you know, I wish I had more interactions like that. I wish that, you know, I could encounter more people who I could have stimulating conversations with, who I can connect with in a genuine way, who comes across like that comes across like we vibe on some sort of level, especially with the Lovers card here. That's the card I get where somebody's like, oh, I feel like this person is like my soulmate. I feel like they're my twin. I feel like they're my other half. I feel like we really complement each other. So people generally feel, honestly, just a sense of connection when they interact with you. That's how they feel afterwards. They're like, oh, I really connected with someone. I may have made a new friend, or I may have made a new love interest, or I made a strong bond with someone. I feel like if we saw each other again, like we could hit each other up and say, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? And we could pick up where we left off. And in a way, with this Four of Cups energy, what I'm getting is that when they're talking to you, they're focused solely on what the things that you have to say and who you are and what they have to say, and having just that conversation, because the Four of Cups can sort of just tune the world out. A lot of times we get the Four of Cups as like missing out on other opportunities or missing out on other things going on. But sometimes the Four of Cups can represent relaxation. It can represent retreat. It can represent focusing solely on the things that you feel are best within your life. I've gotten the Four of Cups to represent rejecting opportunities that you don't feel are right for you. So when people are talking to you, it's almost like they feel like they just want to concentrate on the connection that you two are having, rather than, you know, if a third party tries to join in, they're just not interested in what that person may have to say. In a sense, they're just like, I kind of just want to talk to you right now. I don't really want to do anything. I don't really want to add another person into this conversation at the moment. Not saying what that other person has to say isn't valuable. They're just not interested in what that other person may have to say. Another thing that we have is like, they feel like you don't really compare them to other people. It kind of goes back to that Five of Wands reversed energy. It's like saying, I don't feel judged. And same with the Lovers. The Lovers feels like, hey, we're just connecting. We're just bonding. Like, it's not about like what kind of job do you have, or how nice is your car, or, you know, what you look like. We're just connecting as two human beings with souls. And that's generally how people feel. They feel like they're establishing a genuine connection. I don't know how else to phrase that. Generally, people have a good feeling after talking with you. I will say though, you know, with the Four of Cups on the end, there's kind of a feeling like, it's kind of a feeling of kind of like, the conversation seems like it may be over quicker than they would have liked, because the Five of Wands, even though it's reversed, it's still a wand energy and it's still fast. And next to the Lovers, which is connected to Gemini, when you have fire and air coming together, it moves quickly. So they feel like these interactions are a little bit cut too short. They're like, oh man, I kind of wanted to continue the conversation. I kind of wanted things to keep going. It seemed like we had a lot to say to each other. And I would love to just continue what we have going on here. I really feel like the conversations are very leveled. And what I mean by that is people don't feel like overexcited, over riled up, especially when this Four of Cups is here. It's like just a very smooth level. We had a good conversation. I really enjoyed that. Like, so people just feel the sense of, as I said, relaxation, the calm, the very laid back, just very at peace after they've talked to you, feeling like they've made a connection, feeling like things were just smooth and flowing and nice. Especially when we get into Capricorn, which is that ultimate stability sign. It's the pinnacle peak. And it focuses so much on having to do with accomplishing your goals, setting out to what you wanted to do, as well as being consistent. So they feel like they have consistently great interactions with you, even if they are cut short, even if they wish they could extend them. They feel like, yes, I had a good interaction. This person is always consistent about maybe their support or the things that you say or your values, or consistently being someone who is non-judgmental, or consistently being someone who is open and allows me to speak my piece, consistently being someone who I can interact with and I'm not distracted by anyone else. It's just more so there may be an aspect of them that feels like they may not know you as well, because the Capricorn, like just general interactions, not talking about like close ones. This is for the general interactions. They may feel like, I'm not quite sure where to place this person, because I know this person isn't some sort of hater. I know they don't have any sort of animosity. But at the same time, and I also feel a connection with them. I feel like I like them. I feel good about the interactions that I have with them. But they're still kind of thinking like, I wonder what this person may be like on a deeper level. Because the thing about the Capricorn energy is when we talk about feelings towards someone, Capricorns can be a little bit more so guarded when it comes to their feelings. And also, it can also represent an environment that's very like professional. So people may feel like we're having a very like polite conversation. We're having very polite interactions. We're not going too deep, but we're going just deep enough that we feel a sense of connection to each other. That we feel like, yeah, I really liked our experiences with each other. I think most people will say, I feel like that's a really cool person. Oh, do you know about, Layla? She's a really sweet person. She's really nice. Like, I really think that she has a positive attitude. I think she's very agreeable. I think she's a really cool person to talk to. Always has interesting things to say. We always get, wrapped up in the things that we're talking about. And, we keep it moving. Like we keep it moving. We have good interactions with people. So I think that's along the lines of things that people may be saying and how they're feeling when they're interacting with you. Overall, the cards are expressing that this is a positive thing. That you're not someone who is generally forgettable, but they may not know you as deeply, okay? And also, like I said, Capricorn is connected to that reputation. And so, like I said, it's more so they feel like you're not going to say anything controversial or highly super opinionated or you're not going to throw an unpopular opinion out there in general. Now, if this is close friends and family, you know, close friends and family are going to feel like, man, you really hold back when it comes to, you know, maybe really throwing, like I said, an unpopular opinion out there. Like they feel like you hold back on that. And I think you're a little bit more considerate of people's feelings. And thus people are feeling like, yeah, this person's pretty cool. This person is pretty cool. I don't think they're trying to rattle any, I don't know what you would be rattling. Ruffle any feathers. That's the thing I'm looking to say. They're like, I don't think this person's going to ruffle any feathers. I generally have good interactions with her. I think I think this person is a really good, decent person. I think that they have a lot to contribute to conversations. And I think that there's someone who may keep things light when it comes to the conversation, but they generally have positive things to say. And I always feel welcomed, relaxed, and at peace when I talk to this person. And I feel like we let the time just naturally flow by. Like I'm not in a rush to end conversations with this person. That's kind of like what they're thinking. So generally they feel good. They feel good. But they do want more from you, I think, with this Four of Cups on the end. They want something a little bit deeper because they do feel a strong connection towards you after having like these interactions. So they want, I think, an even deeper bond, I think. They want to move beyond the sort of professional, polite conversations is what I'm getting from you, pile number 2. So I don't think I can expand on that any further. I think it's pretty summed up on how they feel towards you. You know, if you feel connected or pulled to another pile, feel free to choose that pile. But I think this summarizes things for the most part. They kind of want you maybe to let the guard down a little bit. Maybe they want to see you say something a little bit wild and out there. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, but they do want to build upon that bond that they already feel like they have after talking to you and interacting with you, and just go deeper. Just go deeper. That's the main feeling that we're getting from this. Like, let's connect more. Let's talk more. Let's, if this is a professional atmosphere, let's take this to like a friendship level, a casual level. Like, let's hang out. Okay, that's kind of how they're feeling. Like, oh, I would love to be friends with this person. I would love to hang out with this person. That's kind of like the vibe that they're getting. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully this resonated with you. If not, feel free to choose another pile. Or maybe I'm not the reader for you. Things like that happen. Either way, I'm super happy that you dropped by pile number 2. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that I get to see you next time. Over. Hey, pile number 3. Let's get into how people feel after interacting with you. The Empress, 7 of Cups, Death, Force, and Scorpio. I love how we got the Scorpio energy twice with the Death card and Scorpio, literally. And then we also got the Empress here, which is Venus energy, and we got Force, which is strength and Leo type of energy. So, how people feel talking to you is they feel like they can see a different perspective, a new way of thinking. Like they feel, in a way, like you've changed their life in a sense. That sounds so profound and deep, but you do tend to have a strong impact on people, a lasting impact. So something about the things you say and what you do really impacts people a long time. Like your words really stick in people's heads, and it causes them to go about their lives differently. So they feel like they want to drop some bad habits, change themselves for the better, get rid of negative mentalities, completely just let go of things that are not bettering them, that are not good for them, that do not align with their goals. So after talking to you, they're like, I gotta change my life. Like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I think you and maybe pile number one like have this like motivational energy about you. But people feel generally like they want to overcome any sort of thing or burden that has let them down or drag them down after talking to you. So in a way you sort of inspire people, but in a way it does feel a little bit scary because with this death card energy, they're like, when I talk to this person, like it's sometimes they see you, they're like, man, I talk to this person, I know I'm going to feel some type of way. Like I know I'm going to want to stick to my diet and maybe I don't want to hear today. I'm sure you're not saying that, but something about the way that you communicate makes them think, I got to make some changes in my life. Like I really can't be doing this. I got to quit drinking. I got to quit smoking. I got to quit overeating. I got to quit, dealing with toxic men or women, like whatever the case may be. Like after talking to you, they just feel like I've got to change my life. And then also they may even feel like you've changed their life for the better. Maybe even without you knowing it specifically. When the Empress here, overall, I do want to say, I was just talking about the Empress card and how it represents like somebody being happy. So overall, I should have led this with this. People feel happy after interacting with you. And they feel like you have led them or made them want to change their life for the better, to happily change their perspective, or even in a way feeling a little bit scared but excited about changing their perspective and not going back to the way things once were. They feel like they can really commit and set a goal. Like you really do kind of motivate people a little bit. Like they feel like they can get to it, that they can accomplish things that they want to accomplish, that they can do the things that they want to do. They just have to hold in there. They just have to be patient. They just have to wait a little bit longer, hold on a little bit longer, endure a little bit more. But they can do whatever it is that they need to do, that they can just, pull themselves up by their bootstraps and keep going. Like with you, that is just how they feel after their interactions with you. You have some strong and powerful energy, some strong and powerful words. You're somebody who generally brings a lot of positivity into people's lives. And I think they feel like they're able to conquer those inner demons after interacting with you. They feel like a sense of wonder, like the things they have so many options. The world's not so narrow. They don't have this narrow perspective of how things are going to work out. They don't have these negative thoughts anymore. They feel they're in a more positive state of mind after talking to you. So it's really quite amazing that we have this. I think maybe something about you causes them to deeply reflect on their own insecurities, their own traumas, their own hangups, their own issues that they may be dealing with. And you may allow them the space to reflect upon it with the Seven of Cups energy and understand what about themselves is being tied to those things that are causing them destruction, that are not beneficial towards them, the things that are getting in the way of their happiness. I feel like you give them space to think about things, or you throw in some ideas and suggestions that maybe they haven't thought about before. So generally, that the main message is that they feel that they can overcome either moments of sadness, anxiety, whatever issues that they're going through after interacting with you. They're like, I can change. I'm motivated to change. I can take the steps. I can continue to take the steps. I can be the person who I want to be. The world is my oyster. I am in a much better state of mind. I can be myself and still get the things that I want. I don't have to suppress who I am, or, I can fully express myself in a way that people will love and accept. And I can be creative. I can speak up, you know, because we have this strength card, which is connected to the 5th house, which is can be public speaking. I can be on a platform, be on a stage, and I can overcome my fears. So we have a lot of people feeling like they can overcome fears and things along the lines of that. In other news, in other news, you may have some certain people, I don't know who, but because we have Scorpio twice and then the strength card, this can represent more of like a hidden attraction. So there's something about you that people may be very like attracted to. This could possibly be some sexual energy here. So there may be some feelings of attraction from certain groups of people, but they're not really showing it with this Force card here. So this is like, I'm attracted to someone, but like I'm going to suppress that desire because it's not appropriate, or it's just not the time and place for it. Things along the lines of that. So they may find their attraction to you growing, certain people, after having interactions with you. Just want to throw that out there. But the main message is like after interacting with you, they can look at their own life and say, you know what, despite the challenges, I can move forward and I can endure whatever is being thrown at me and I can overcome it. And that is what they're getting from you, pile number 3. So I do want to say like, comment, and subscribe if you like the reading. And if this was not the pile for you, feel free to choose another pile. If I'm not the reader for you, feel free to choose another reader. And I really do hope to see you next time. I can't wait for you to come back if you want to come back. And au revoir. Hey, pal number 4. Let's see. Excuse me. How do people feel after interacting with you? We have the Ace of Swords, the Tower, the King of Coins, the World, and Jupiter return. Let us see. Okay, so what we have here is, wow, people feel a little bit, they feel very strongly after interacting with you. What I'm getting from this is that you must be a very honest person, or at least you're someone who speaks their mind. But generally, I think it's just showing you're just honest. And so people feel a little bit like shaken up or woken up after speaking with you. They feel a little bit like, whoa, what happened? Like it's like you'll say something that will totally blow their minds or take them off guard or take them by surprise. So people feel a little bit like shocked or shaken up, or just like, sometimes the feeling is like this feeling of like explosion inside, like you just want to let things out, you know. You're like, whoa, this, like, you know that feeling where you're just like, oh, I just want to either scream right now, or but out of happiness, frustration, whatever. I doubt it. I'm sure it's not frustration every time. Maybe. I mean, if for some reason my lovely little astronaut, and for some reason you are a very, very, very special type of person who can be a little bit of a bugger of a person, like just a little annoying, then yeah, maybe people want to scream after interacting with you. But I don't think that's you guys. I don't think that's the majority of you. I think the majority of you, this is just saying that you're just so straightforward and so honest that people are like, whoa, like, I did not expect that. I did not expect that. I'm sure for some that this could possibly be taken as rude, for some. But the World card on the end lets me know that ultimately it's a positive feeling. It's a feeling of like, wow, I feel like we had a really good conversation. I feel like things were really deep. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. I feel a sense of, this is what I like this conversation. I feel it was a deep conversation. I feel like I learned something from this conversation. I feel like was enlightened. That's another phrase that the Tower can encompass. Feeling enlightened. Like I really appreciate this topic. I didn't even think about things like that. I really appreciate your perspective. Like you really came through with something I wasn't expecting. I feel like you really don't beat around the bush. I feel like you're somebody who is very direct. I feel like you're able to help me bring clarity to my own thoughts and help me possibly, like if you have some biases and you speak to someone and you're like, you know what, let me check my own biases. Like it's almost like they're bringing clarity and understanding you're bringing clarity and understanding to other people so they can help organize their own thoughts, their own lives, and reevaluate themselves. So some sort of self-reflection is going on after you have a conversation with people. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes people may feel like you're very much like maybe too honest or too upfront or too straightforward. But for the most part, I think people are just like, you know what? That's an interesting perspective. Like, that's just blown my mind that you mentioned that. Or that's an interesting word that you use. I really like that word. Like, I like how you said that. I really enjoy your word of phrasing. Like, you ever hear somebody say something? What's that trend that's going around being like demure? And demure, modest, you know, it's very cutesy, things like that. It's almost like when people have a conversation with you, like you'll say a word like demure and people are like demure. Like they're just in their head, they're just like saying that word over and over again. So you may have like a way of saying things or using certain words that people are just like repeating it in their head and they're like, oh, I like that word. Oh, okay. I want to use that. I'm going to put that in my word Rolodex. Like I'm going to put that little saying in my word Rolodex or that phrase or something, like something that you're saying is like, oh, let me use that for myself. Okay. And I think that is kind of what this Jupiter return energy is giving. I know for me, Jupiter return wasn't like super significant. Like, I'm trying to think of Jupiter return. Jupiter return usually represents having to reassess and reevaluate what exactly it is that you want to sort of like grow and expand upon and educate yourself on in this life. It represents wanting to experience growth in a certain area, whatever area that is in your chart. It doesn't necessarily have to be it's not a specific area. Wherever Jupiter falls in your chart, that's the area that you may be trying to expand and to grow in. So it could be good, it could be bad. I think Jupiter return, I'm trying to remember and really, really think. That was me trying to expand and grow in an area of technically my career and purpose, which I think overall Jupiter can represent purpose. Well, I know it can represent purpose for sure. Think about like the Wheel of Fortune and how it's about the changes and the flow and the ebb and flow of life and the directions that you may go in and all the constant change. And the only thing constant is change, right? So it was all about trying to figure out the direction and the focus and the area of life I particularly wanted to expand in. And that had to do personally for me with career, and also my own personal beliefs and goals, if that makes sense. Like what direction do I want to grow in as a person? That was me reevaluating things during my Jupiter return. Now everybody's Jupiter return may be different, but that to me is what that Jupiter return was about for essentially. Some people make a lot of money and go back to college during the Jupiter return. I think I actually did contemplate going back to school during my Jupiter return, for sure. I think around that time period, I did try to think about it a little bit. So what I'm trying to say is people are sort of like reevaluating who they are, their own perspectives, as well as trying to educate themselves and learn more, and after they talk to you, so they feel a little bit more enlightened. So that's the word I want to give. People feel enlightened after talking to you. They feel like you've expanded their perspective. They feel like you've given them new things to think about. They feel like you are adding more prosperity into their life by dispelling beliefs that they may have previously held and had, and giving them new information, giving them something solid and to back things up on. And they're like, oh yeah, I guess what you're saying does make sense. And if I look at the foundations of what you're saying, yeah, this is pretty accurate. Like, this is pretty stable. This is pretty solid in what you're trying to explain and what your belief system and stuff. And so people feel like they may even change their beliefs or have a stronger understanding of their own way of thinking and thoughts after talking to you, okay? It's just a matter of trying to, like, really, like, it's like you really just pierce and break through people. I don't know what it is, what you're saying to people, but your words are so strong and so powerful is what I want to throw out to you, pal number 4. Because the fact that people are sort of like reevaluating who they are, their own goals, their own purpose, their own sense of self and their own thoughts and values and belief systems is something quite incredible, okay? Another thing is with the Jupiter return, a lot of people associate that with, money and things along the lines of that. I know personally with me and my Jupiter return, it didn't really do anything money-wise, but except, give me some debt, because I think I graduated college around that time, and then I thought about master's degree, but I was like, no, I don't think so. But then I rethought about it. I got a retrograde Jupiter in my chart. But anyway, a lot of people think about money around this time. And so when we have this, when it comes to your reading, is that people may start thinking and reevaluating their own finance and their own financial, they'll just look at their own financial place and where they are in life and try to focus on growing and building success and building momentum in that way. And so it's almost like people feel a sense of comfort and success, and I don't know, it's like they feel like after talking to you, they feel a little bit better about themselves and where they stand in the world. So if they felt like they were insecure, if they felt like, maybe they didn't have enough, after speaking to you, they kind of will change their mind and realize that, the things that they have is enough. The things that are in front of them are good. They have their family. They have the things that matter. They have the strong morals. They have good principles. They feel like really empowered after talking to you, is what I'm trying to say. And generally, similar to how I was talking about another pal, with the court cards, like the King of Coins or King of Pentacles, whatever you want to call it, it's more so like they're thinking something about you. They're thinking more so like, this person is someone I see as somebody being very stable and very much like a person who is down to earth, but also makes sensible and reasonable decisions when it comes to how they move about in the world. Because like I said, Jupiter return is about reevaluating things. And so they see that you're looking at things with in a dependable, realistic way. Okay. And because of that, they're like, yeah, we need more people like you in the world. Like, that's sort of like their feeling after talking to you. They're like, I really like how you think. I really like how realistic and practical you are about someone. So there's almost like this, like, oh, we must protect this person. Like, you know how fans will say that about their favorites? They'll say, oh, we've got to protect this person. That's kind of like how they feel about you. They feel like, wow, this person is so great in the sense of that they have a great way of thinking. We've got to protect this person. We need more people like this person in the world. The world would be so much better if we had more people like you in it. So it's a very protective type of energy. And also the King of Coins is a very helpful card. So people may sort of want to help you out a lot. I don't know if you get that. I don't know if you get people offering you things or offering you help or offering you to pick things up for you, grab things, doing things for you. People will naturally sort of feel that after interacting with you. They're like, I kind of want to take care of this person. I want to help this person out. I want to do things for this person. Like, it's almost like that type of energy, because the King of Coins is a very much like, I'm a doer, I'm going to give. They receive as well, but they're like, I want to do things for you. Like, I would like to help you out. And it could be financially, or it could be something simple as just like, you know, let me hold the door open for you. You may find people doing things like that. You know, it like, and also from their perspective, they feel a little bit more like safe after talking to you. Don't get me wrong, we have the Tower here, which can shake things up. But I think it's because you're so honest. They're like, oh, I feel like I can relax a little bit about this person. I don't think this person is going to like try to deceive me or trick me or hurt me in some way. Is what I'm getting here. It's just very much like, I don't know, maybe even motivate people to make money in a way too, especially with the Tower and the King of Coins, because the Tower is like, let me destroy and get rid of this shaky foundation, and then the King of Coins is like, let me build a strong foundation, you know, let me build something solid. So maybe that's how they feel after interacting with you. Like, they need things that are more solid and stable within their life. And then ultimately, you know, how they feel talking to you is kind of like, they just feel like you kind of have like the whole package. They feel like you're just this person who is all-encompassing. Like, you have so many different talents, so many different skills. It's interesting. The World card kind of focuses, it is a feeling of accomplishment and a feeling of success. So like I said, people will feel like they feel more so like confident, accomplished, and successful, especially when like they talk to you. Maybe you're hyping them up and you know, things along the lines of that. But yeah, they feel a sense of like accomplishment, a sense of peace, a sense of like, wow, that was a very deep, fulfilling conversation, gave me some good perspectives. I feel like, you know, I'm on top of the world after talking to this person. Like, I'm in a better place. I have a deeper perspective. It's just really much like a sense of growth. Like, they almost like grow as a person in a way, like after having encounters and conversations with you. Like, we've got the Tower connected to Mars and the Tower and the World connected to Saturn. And when Saturn and Mars come together, that is a hard working combination. I'm not kidding with you. Like, that, they are like ruthless when it comes to the energy that they spread. It's like very tough. And so maybe you give people some tough love and they're like, I needed to hear that. And that's what I'm getting, pal number 4. People feel stronger. People feel like, wow, this person really hyped me up. I feel the top of the world. I feel good. Like, I feel great about myself after talking to you. So this is another great pile where people are really just enjoying the conversations that you guys are having, the interactions that you're having together. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to really say about this other than that. But yeah, they do have a protective feeling towards you. They do feel like, I want to keep this person safe. I do feel like this person has a lot going on for them, and it's actually shocking and maybe even inspiring how they perceive you, and in that way. I don't know how to expand on that any further. I think I covered the bases. So hopefully you like the reading, pile number 4. If not, you know, maybe choose another pile or choose another reader. Either way, I'm happy you stopped by. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next time. Hey, pile number 5. Let's see how people feel after interacting with you. We have the Moon. We have the 3 of Swords. We have the Knight of Coins, the 6 of Coins, and the 5th house, Creativity. Okay, right away we have like a mixed group of interactions with the moon card here. Obviously, the moon goes through different phases and ups and downs, waxing, waning, really. But the main gist we get here is just a little bit of maybe confusion, or it's either one, confusion, or two, it just depends on the day, for the most part. You may be somebody who fluctuates with your moods. Maybe you are somebody who one day you're having just a bad mental health day and you just don't really want to have these conversations with people, or you don't want to have to put on these polite, what's the word I'm looking for? Polite, you don't want to have these polite conversations. You just want to be, in a funk and let yourself be true and authentic to your bad mood. You don't want to have to pretend that you're not feeling a certain way. And thus, people may feel like, I don't know, some days they may feel like, I really enjoy talking to this person. Other days they're like, oh, this person might just be a little bit, in a tough spot today, is what they're kind of thinking along the lines of that. So the feeling that people get after talking to you is just like, was that about me? Was that are they treating me this way because, they don't like me or something I said? Or are they treating this way because they're in a bad mood and they just need some time to themselves? So that can be kind of the feeling that you may be giving people sometimes. Not all the time, but I'm just want you to be possibly aware of that scenario. That can happen, especially if you're somebody who may struggle with anxiety or depression or some sort of mood disorder. You have other people who are sensitive, and instead of realizing that you may be in a funk or you may just not be in the mood to talk to people, they're going to take it personally. So that's a possibility of what's happening right now. With the Knight of Coins and the Six of Coins, on the days that you maybe not be fluctuating, that you are a little bit more stable, that you're in a bit of a better headspace, people are sort of feeling like they kind of leave the conversation feeling like, okay, we had some interesting things to talk about, some interesting things to say. They feel like it's interesting because the Knight of Pentacles is more so like a describing your personality. So it's less of a feeling with the Knight of Coins. But if you have to say a feeling, the Knight of Coins feels dedicated and focused. So it's almost like they feel a sense of duty or commitment, whether it is to you or to something else that might be possibly on their mind. Sometimes we get the moon here to represent somebody suddenly like remembering things that they may have forgotten. And so the Knight of Coins is going to be like, oh yeah, this person just reminded me. I got to get on about that thing. So maybe you kind of help people recall things. I don't know what's going on here. But I'm going to choose to read this as more so like a personality thing, in the sense that they may feel like, oh, you're very hardworking, you're very focused, you're reliable, you're loyal, you're someone I can trust in, because the Knight of Pentacles is always somebody who is consistent in their work. So even if you may not be consistent in your moods, because, not everyone is, or go through more mood fluctuations than maybe the average person, they do feel like that you do have some consistent personality traits, and they are kind of like, I can count on this person to give me an honest answer about this, or I can count on this person to want to be interested in this topic, etc., etc., etc. So there's a certain aspect of you that is very reliable and dependable that people will appreciate, whatever the case may be. Whenever it comes to that, like maybe they feel like, oh, I just got my nails done, and I can count on you to appreciate that I just got my nails done or something like that. So they feel like you can be the person that they may come to for like compliments, especially with the 6 of coins here, which can be about giving. People kind of sometimes associate more so with financial, but it can also be giving of like compliments, time, energy. So they feel like, yeah, I can count on this person to really appreciate this sort of thing. Just got my hair done. I can count on you to be complimentary towards that, because they're always complimentary towards hair and things along the lines of that. So something about you that they feel like they can rely on you to support them in. Maybe just in general, they feel like your energy is you're just a very supportive person. And so they feel like if they come to you for an idea, they're like, oh, I can count on this person to be supportive of my idea and to give their honest opinion of how I could possibly improve or go in a different direction or have a focus or something along the lines of that. And also, they generally feel like you're somebody who helps them out, who can be very selfless. They kind of see you as like, man, I really can count on this person to reach out to me and give me good advice, or reach out to me when I need a helping hand. And so there's a sense of, I guess, reliability in that way. Like they feel like your reliability and what's the word? They feel like you're somebody who can come through in a clutch. Like that's the feeling people get. Like I can always count on you. That is the main feeling from this reading. We do have 5th house creative energy here as well. And I think that's going into the moon and all of those things. So there's an aspect of your personality which people can find very entertaining, even if it can be very sort of dramatic. Notice how when we have creativity, the sort of symbol of drama is the happy face and the sad face. And with you, we have the moon here and the 3 of swords, which can kind of go into the drama side of things. And so they can always count on you to have a sort of interesting story. And the reason I say that is because part of what makes a story interesting is having things that are challenging, having things that are difficult, having an antagonist, having something that is going against the force of good or will or whatever. And so they can always count on you to have a very, very good, interesting story. The thing that we get about the moon here is that the moon is connected to, is connected to anything that is typical of a nighttime scenario, or the darkness, right? And there's one thing that people associate with sort of like dark and when the sun goes down, and that's bedtime stories, right? You don't have daytime stories. You're not like, oh, read me a daytime story. No, you want a bedtime story because you want a little venture before you like doze off and go into this fantasy realm. So they can always count on you to have something interesting to say, to maybe even have some sort of thing going on in your life that might be like a little bit out there or exciting, or at least interesting to them. So in a way, they kind of look at you as a sense of like just a very interesting person that they can listen to and hear from, and whose experiences they are open to learning and hearing about. They feel like you're somebody who never has a dull time or never has a dull story. Like you've always just got something maybe wild or out there that has possibly happened, and you have a creative way of speaking about it. So they feel excited when they get to talk to you about the things that are going on in your life, and if you so choose to reveal them. Generally, like I said, people feel going away from the conversation a sense of like, oh wow, that was something interesting that this person said to me. Or in a way, they're like, man, I have to wait till the next time to get the update on whatever was going on such and such in your life, or something along the lines of that. And then also, we also have that feeling of, yes, I feel like you have given me a good amount of your time. You're so complimentary. You're so helpful. Like, it's a good feeling. Granted, like I said, sometimes they may feel like is this person mad at me, or they not want to talk to me, or like what's going on here? So there are some moments like that they may have with you, and they're just kind of confused, as I mentioned before. But that is generally the feeling people get when they are interacting with you. They feel like, this person makes me laugh, this person has interesting stories, this person is very sweet and complimentary to me. Sometimes I'm not sure what mood they're going to be in, and that worries me, that concerns me, and I wish they didn't feel certain ways, or they didn't get so down sometimes, or they didn't feel so anxious, or they didn't need those moments to themselves. But I understand where they're coming from. Is kind of like the feeling that they're getting. They're just, some people may take it personally, some people don't. But that's what we got for you, pile number 5. If this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to choose another pile. Or maybe I'm not the reader for you. You never know. But, try your luck elsewhere if this isn't the right fit for you. I always encourage people to do what is best for them. But either way, I'm so happy that you stopped by. And I will see you next time. I think this is summarized. I don't know how else I could describe how people are feeling after they're interacting with you. Other than just generally they feel a sense of being supported and in a way entertained and excited to hear your next sort of tell and thing that might be happening in your life that could be potentially dramatic or potentially stressful in a way. But to them, they're like, how is this, like, it just seems so out of the box and so like left turn, like they're like, this has got so many loops and turns to it. So that is what I have for you. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Au revoir.